I gave my daughters 1 week to move out after they ignored their 6-7-year-old brother's calls for help. My daughters are both in their 20s and just graduated college. They've been living with me for the past 3 months because they couldn't find jobs and their dad's new wife basically kicked them out. Here's the thing though, they hate their little brother Tom. Not because Tom did anything wrong, but because they hated my late husband Robert, who was Tom's dad. Robert passed away 6 months ago after fighting cancer for 2 years. It's just been me and Tom since then. My ex-husband filled the girls' heads with all this stuff about Robert when we first got divorced 9 years ago. They chose to live with their dad and barely visited us. They tolerated Robert when they had to see him, but they made it pretty clear they didn't want anything to do with him or Tom. When they moved in, I told them I expected them to at least be civil to their brother. They said fine and were polite enough, but completely ignored him most of the time. Tom would try to talk to them or show them his drawings, and they'd just give one-word answers and walk away. 2 days ago, I got an emergency call from work and had to leave the house for a few hours. Tom was home sick with the flu. He'd been throwing up all morning and was stuck in bed. I asked both girls to keep an eye on him while I was gone. Just 2 hours, that's all I needed. They both said okay. One of them was in the living room watching TV, and the other was in the kitchen. Tom was upstairs in his room. About an hour after I left, I got a text from Tom. "Mom, can you come home please? I threw up again and I need help. I called for Emma and Lily, but nobody came." My heart dropped. I immediately tried calling both girls. Their lines were busy. I rushed through my meeting and drove home as fast as I could. When I walked in, both girls were still there. Emma was on the couch scrolling through her phone. Lily was in the kitchen making herself a sandwich. I ran upstairs and found Tom sitting on his bathroom floor crying. His shirt was covered in vomit and he looked miserable. "I texted them too, but they didn't answer," he said. I cleaned him up and got him back to bed. Then I went downstairs. I asked them why they didn't help Tom. Emma said she didn't hear him calling. Lily said she was using the blender and couldn't hear anything. I almost believed them until Tom told me about the texts. I asked to see their phones. At first they refused, but I wasn't backing down. Finally, Emma handed over her phone. There it was, Tom's message from over an hour ago. "Can someone please help me? I threw up again." The message showed as read. No response. I checked Lily's phone. Same thing. Read, no response. They'd both seen Tom asking for help and just ignored him. A 6-7-year-old kid who just lost his dad 6 months ago. I completely lost it. I told them they were pathetic and cruel. They started making excuses about how I was treating them like parents and giving them too much responsibility. That's when I knew this had nothing to do with responsibility. This was about Tom being Robert's son. I looked at both of them and said, "You have 1 week to pack your stuff and leave. I want you out of this house." They started freaking out. Emma started crying, saying I was being too harsh. Lily said I was acting worse than their dad's new wife and that they had nowhere to go. I told them I didn't care. They deliberately ignored their sick little brother because they couldn't get over their hatred for his dead father. That's not something I can forgive. Now they're both giving me the silent treatment and posting on social media about how I'm kicking them out for no reason. Tom asked me yesterday if he did something wrong. That broke my heart. I told him his sisters made a bad choice and it had nothing to do with him. He's 7 years old and he's already lost his dad. I'm not letting my daughters make him feel unwanted in his own home.